to Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another presentation of the iRacing Super Formula B Series here in the officials on a nice Saturday afternoon here in North America. Been a fun one all season long, and this one will be as well, presented in partnership with Sim Racing Nation, and Graham Crackers Racing has hopped on board for this one and the rest of this season and all of next season as well, so big thank you to them. No matter if you're searching for speed or a place to race, you found it. Stop by Graham Crackers Racing Discord server where everyone's welcome. Looking for a team? You're in luck. Actively recruiting for both SF23 and NASCAR teams. Join by using the link in the description below or the QR code on your screen. Big thank you to them. And it wouldn't be a Super Formula 23 broadcast without Logan Santa-Throkeld up here leading the show. I'm your color and producer, Morgan Cook. You're watching VSPEED, of course. Big thank you to Dougie Beard for the cameras we'll show you here as well. Logan, Zandvoort, tell me about it.
Man, I love this track. It is so unique in so many different ways. Located in the Netherlands, just 2.64 miles around this wonderful circuit, high-speed circuit that it is. 14 corners here tonight as well, and a very unique setup for turn 13 and, well, 13, 14, and turn 3. We have some very steep banking in terms of open-wheeled racing. Turn 3 at 19 degrees at the top of the corner, which will be the fast line through the corner. You do not want to get down to the bottom of turn 3. You are going to slow yourself down. It's a very unique turn. Then once we get back to the last segment of this course, 13, it's a flat right-hander into a very tall 18-degree bank corner for turn 14, back down the front stretch, where we're going to see all of the speed applied by these cars by the time we get back down into turn 1. And I am telling you right now, Morgan, this track is so fast. Whenever I got my typical practice session in, I was looking at the 1 minute 19 second range for a lap, and these guys are blowing that number out of the water in the 113s here in the practice and the qualifying session. It's been incredible. We've got to take a look at the points going into this one. Marcos Alarcon holds on to the lead, but that gap back to second place has closed exponentially Louis Cachon, Andrew Petty, both now within 100 points for that number 1 spot. Dennis Branch just outside of it, down 139. Fabian Gerber, Tavares, Timothy Fries-Larson now up on the board here in the top 10. Dan Giang is now in 8th. Tobias Gerber rounds out the top 10 there. And a couple more drivers there back to the top 20 positions. But the qualifying effort is complete. It's time to get down to the grid, Morgan.
Absolutely. And one thing about those points as well, first time all year, every driver on the top 20 has at least one win so far this season. Go ahead, Logan.
Well, starting out on the pole tonight, it's no shock to me. Timothy Fries-Larson already picking up 2 wins today here at Zandvoort. Sets us off with a 113.797. Yuki Shirakawa in the 6 starts out in 2nd. In the 2nd row, Lucas Hand in the 5 starts out next to the 8 of Lauren Tilsley. Apologize for that. Then behind them in the 5th position, Louis Cachon in the 2 starts out next to the 11 of Ludwig Ranson. In the 7th position, Valerio Tavares in the 4. That's a name that we are so familiar with here on these Saturday evenings, next to the 10 of Rohan Sinair. Last but not least, in the top 10, it's the 14 of Nadia Mel, next to Mark Polito in the 13.
In 11th tonight, Victor Odd in the 16 machine will start 11th. Simon Scholes will start in 12th. 13th, Marcos Alarcon, the points leader. Jacob Oberschlag will start in 14th. 15th will be Miguel Fachado. 16th, Andrew Petty. 17th, Philippe Sarkis. 18th will be Darren Muchabanga. 19th, Matt White. 20th, Dennis Cornu. And finally on your field here, Max Invictus will round out your 21 car grid.
One of our bigger fields here. Love to see almost a full grid going at it here at Zandvoort. Strength of field tonight just over 5,000 at a 5,077. This is a high level field we have today.
Absolutely right about that, Logan. And here we are at the grid. We're going to hear those engines rev up here right away. It's just about go time.
And the green flag is out. The lights are off. Almost carnage in the back of the pack as we're nearly 4 wide, working our way down to turn 1 already. It is 4 wide in some spots, 3 wide and more.
Able to get through it all cleanly so far. And there's that high line you're talking about there in turn number 3. Everyone's able to get through it, looks like.
It's a very interesting offset there in turn 3. Working our way down now through the center section of the track. Turn 4 through 8 will be very, very high speed. Once we get out of turn 8 down into turn 9, it's going to slow it down just a little bit. We've got some action back around that number 17
few drivers
Matt
around.
White.
You're right.
Matt White, Miguel Fachado, both wrapped up. We've got multiple damaged cars. Take a look at what happened here. Down through turn 5, back to turn 6.
Oh, braking zone problem. 4 of them involved. 5 of them involved. Oh, man.
That last hit there. That is the 21 of Oberslag, the 19 of Fachada, the 7 of Petty, the 20 of Muchabunga, and the 17 of Matt White, all out of this race on the first lap. File through the rest of the field up at the front, back down to turn 3 already. 1 lap completed in the books. Now is when we're going to see the speed really start to come into play. These lap times, the first lap right off the rip already faster than any of my practice laps I could put down. That's saying something about this 5,000 strength of field.
Is it though, Logan? I kid. These guys are some of the best on iRacing, and we've made that clear many, many times. I mean, Timothy Fries-Larson up here pushing 9,000 iRating is unbelievable. Rest of the field hovers around that 6,000 mark to get us to about a 5,000 strength of field tonight. Just crazy the level of skill on display.
Number 7 of Andrew Petty coming in that 7th spot of the iRating scale here for the race. He is the highest rated driver that got wrapped up in that first incident. It was the 21, the 19, the 20, and the 17.
Oh, contact!
Oh, contact down into turn 1.
We see Kahan around.
Louis Kahan.
The 2 machine going for a spin.
Wheel-to-wheel action down the front stretch. It's not what you want to see if you're that number 2 car in the field.
Definitely not. Took evasive action to avoid the contact, but unfortunately puts him in the dirt, and around he goes.
I believe that was the 8 of Lauren Tilsley on the inside there. And luckily kept it off the wall into the sand trap, though, and obviously falls back to the back half of the field. That number 2 of Kachan now in the 14th spot, just ahead of Dennis Cornu, who is about a half lap behind. So Cornu having issues himself. Max Invictus picks up a black flag, however.
Oh, he's in the pits as well.
Is now in the pits, yeah.
Interesting. Not sure what happened there.
Here we go, up towards the front again. You can see where that gap is starting to form. Our top 5 pretty well spread out now. Here's Larson with a 2-second advantage over Lucas Hand, side by side, 2 rows deep down into turn 1 one more time. Marcus Alarcon gets a move completed here on Nadia Mel for that 8th position.
I just can't get over how much fun this racetrack looks to drive. Obviously, the constantly switch back from left to right, the different elevation changes, the bankings. It looks so much fun out here for all these drivers, and the nose to tail for most of them. This would be a lot of fun to be out here, eh, Logan?
It absolutely is. And the coolest part to me about this track is coming out of turn 3 all the way down to turn 7. It's a flat out section of the track, and nearly turn 7 as well. It's almost just enough to keep the foot to the floor in that corner, but you do have to lift just a touch if you want to completely make it, especially with the dirty air. That front wing not going to do a whole lot of extra work for you if you are nose to tail.
Why don't you walk me through a lap here, Logan?
Well, down into turn 1, we're going to get it down to 3rd gear here, a little shy of about 80 miles an hour. This corner right before turn 3. Turn 2 is a kind of a tough one to get set up for turn 3 properly. Again, you want to use that high line through turn 3. Do not go to the bottom of that corner. It will slow you down. There's your flat out section. A little bit of a lift as you come into turn 7. Right back on the throttle, hard on the brakes before turn 8. Quick little tap of it. Then turn 9, you really have to slow it back down. It's very similar to turn 2. Back to the left-hand side of it, you've got a short straight down to turn 11 into a quick right-left chicane. Here's your first right-hander, and then it's about a 180-degree turn back to the left. Another short shoot into turn 13. A quick lift of the throttle here. Then it is full-on foot to the floor as you come around this high 18-degree banked turn 14 back into the front stretch. Here's where you're going to see your top speeds, 180 miles an hour before we're on the brakes back down into turn 1.
Fantastic work, Logan. Thanks for that ride. As Timothy Fries Larson is out by 3 seconds over Lucas Hand. A few drivers right behind him. Chirikawa and Tilsley. And another 2 seconds back to Tavares. That's your top 5.
One of the things, you could pretty well say it about any circuit on this schedule. It's about rhythm. But I feel that Zandvoort here in the Netherlands is just even more needed to have that rhythm and the consistency. Is this track, again, it's just such a fast course that
Absolutely.
Any slight mistake, it's miles an hour and it's milliseconds. And that's what changes the pace of the race.
I mean, we saw it already. We saw one driver miss a braking zone and take out 5 others on that initial lap, right? Like it's so tight here that the track is so narrow and you're moving so fast from left to right that, yeah, one slide from one driver can end or definitely alter the race of many others around them.
Looks like 3 of our drivers collected in that incident have decided to pull it back to the garage. We got 2 remaining in pit row from that, Oberslack and Fachado. The 21 and the 19 seemingly getting some repairs done. Might see them back out in this race. Already 5 minutes for the 21 and 7 minutes in the pit stall for the 19. So we have some action here. That was nearly an attempt to the inside in turn 3.
You can see that variable banking at work. You usually talk about that at a place like Homestead or Iowa, but it definitely happens here in the Netherlands too, down in turn number 3. The bottom of the racetrack very flat, the top of the racetrack significantly more banked. Think of the bowl you eat your soup out of, very similar to that. It's harder to make time on the bottom than on the top, and obviously that passing attempt failed. Nadia Mel is going to fall back just a little bit, about 3 car lengths here to Marcos Alarcon.
But it's so unique that you use the high line in turn 3 because it's such a tight radius corner. It's easier to keep the speed up through that section. And then you get to the other side of the track, turn 14. You have just as steep of a banking, but it's such a speedy right-hand corner that you do want to use the bottom. As you see it right here, as that 3 takes a quick look to the outside, right back to the inside. Marcos Alarcon trying to make something happen to the outside down into turn 1. Has to hold up on the brakes underneath the back end. I don't know
He got
how
damage out of that too.
He
turned him.
Oh! Mark Polito goes into the sand trap after a little bit of contact from Marcos Alarcon right before turn 3, just out of turn 2.
Absolutely. There is a look from high above the racetrack. As they peer behind the paddock. There was contact right there. You saw the scrape on the nose of Alarcon. Down there, a little more net code. Around goes Paludo.
It looked like Paludo might have tried to cut that corner in just a little bit too much while having Alarcon on the inside. I believe that right rear tire made contact with the left front. Depending on how you look at it, how strict you want to be on, FIA standard rules, it could go either way.
Absolutely.
But not here on iRacing. We're going to keep it going here. Back down the front stretch one more time into turn 1. We are just now starting lap 9. It's going by so quick. Again, these lap times in the 1 minute 14 second range throughout just about the entire field, Morgan.
Yeah, definitely a lot of speed out here. Oh, we're going way high on the racetrack, up on the green stuff. Nadia Mel and Alarcon, they're working hard to try and figure out who's going to take 7th, who's going to take 8th. Right now it is Nadia Mel holding on to that spot.
There's not a whole lot of passing opportunities here at Zandvoort. You have to really pick and choose. I know I say that about just about any track we've been to, but this one is extremely difficult to generate a passing opportunity.
Yeah, for sure about that. We're going to take a quick step aside. We'll be back in about 30 seconds here. Need to fix some of these paint schemes. I'm sure there's sponsors and things that are wanting to be shown on screen here that are not. So we'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Back in just a second.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here for the Super Formula B Series, iRacing officials. Now we have paint schemes. Fantastic. This is the battle for 10th here. Simon Scholes, Lewis Kahan, who had an incident earlier in the race, little contact, had him off the racetrack, battling for the 10th position here.
And Max Invictus in the 18. He is back out on track. Unfortunately, one lap down after that black flag has been served. Not the night that he would like to have here, but will still finish higher than the iRating he's been placed coming into this session, Morgan.
Yeah, so if there are losses, they'll be minimal. If there are gains, they're possible. So definitely a good perseverance sort of moment here for the 18 as we have an excellent battle here. This is the back half of the top 10. 10th through 12th, I believe.
Yeah, this is right around that number 2 of Lewis Kahan. Simon Scholes, Victor Odd, I believe Ludwig Granson in this is, no, he's just ahead of it. Kahan, Scholes, Odd, and Sarkis will be our 4 drivers in this battle.
Kahan ever so slightly pulling away from this group as well. It's now 0.6 of a second. The trio behind them, though, still hotly contested.
And just up ahead to Nadia Mel. He is looking to make a move for that 6th spot. So he's going to take a look to the inside. Makes it stick, but not going to go away easy. Rohan Senier holding on to hope here as they make their way down into turn 3. Enters a little bit higher.
Great
To
exit.
drop it down to the bottom, though. Yeah, that was a fantastic exit from Emil.
That almost looked like the Darlington officials this week, having to get that good exit turn. Oh, big crash here. Odd and Scholes around.
Just on the exit of turn 3 where we just were. We'll take it back here to the replay. Beautiful drone cam to follow this one. Down through turn 1, nothing doing there. Turn 2, we see that gap start to close on entry. What happens here?
Got him in the center.
Oh, a high entry of turn 3.
Yikes. How many times have you seen that, Logan?
Not very often, honestly. That getting through turn 3, you can essentially use that green stripe up at the very top of the track. But we're gonna have a look down to the inside of turn 1 again.
Oh, more
this lap.
contact.
That's for the 3rd position. Lauren Tilsley gets around Yuki Shirakawa with contact made. Shirakawa certainly will not be happy about that one. That is the 2nd time, I believe, Tilsley has been involved in some contact. The first one coming with, that was Marcus Allersson earlier.
Was it Kahan or Allerson? I don't recall.
It could be either one of them. They were both up in the top 5 around that number 8 machine at some point so far this race. Interesting development up here in the top 3 as Tilsley holds down that 3rd position now with a half-second advantage over Shirakawa for that 4th spot.
Speaking of holding down a position, Timothy Fries Larson is out by 7, now 8 seconds on the rest of the field. We talk about these open setups all the time. We'll bring that up here really quick. Obviously 27 laps here this evening, and we are using the local setups, or the open setups, same settings as always here in these officials. But he has absolutely put it on him so far. Talking about these setups getting better as time goes on, or whether you're going to be fast at the start, fast at the end, where the setup's going to shine. His clearly is shining the entire time here so far in this race.
Timothy Fries Larson, I was doing some research coming into this one. So far, of all the top split winners in the races today, Larson is the only driver to get into a 1 minute and 13-second lap time. And that is the winners of the top splits for the session so far today. But that is a extremely fast lap. I think he was actually down into the 113.7 range. Currently, best lap for Larson, a 114.105. So still has some left in the tank from what we've seen already.
Absolutely right. And that was his qualifying lap, too, is a 113.797 here to put him on the pole of this race, where he has not looked back from. Curious to see what kind of fast lap he can post. Currently, there is nobody within a quarter second of his fast lap in this race. Lauren Tilsley is the closest at a 14.3 to Fries Larson's 14.1.
Just to shine some more light on the speed of Larson as well, we do have one car, the 12 of Dennis Cornu, currently running in the 12th position, just about a minute behind our race leader. So that gives him about 13 to 15 seconds before Fries Larson is coming around on that lead lap. So we're move down one lap. It'll be very interesting to see if we have enough time left in this race to see that. I don't recall having any natural lap traffic in this series so far, Morgan.
You're right, that would be a first. We have yet to see that, although Cornu is about 40 seconds behind Sarkis, and I don't believe that would be as maybe natural as you say, oh, we got a car off the racetrack. That was Tilsley again, pushing that car as far as it can go. A little bit of a bobble, able to retain the position. But you're right that we haven't really seen that happen. Haven't really seen much lapping of cars yet this season, but today could be the day.
Shirokawa likes to see the small mistakes happening in front, especially after the contact that was made to take away that third position. We're going to be side by side here for the 5th spot. Nadia Mel gets to the inside of Valerio Tavares down into turn 1. That's your best passing opportunity. So he's going to make it stick, gets ahead of Tavares and into the top 5, the 14. Really looking to put some speed down on the track now, already over a half-second advantage over Tavares. That was very quick to go from turn 1 side by side to out by now almost a second, and we're not even to turn 8.
Yeah, Tavares definitely put a lap together there as we have an issue with the 13. I think went for a big slide here. We're going to go back and have a look at that.
Coming down the front stretch here, one behind. And is there going to be contact here? That gap closed up rapidly there.
There was.
Oh, there is contact.
Yeah, similar. We've seen that a couple times already down there in turn number 2. Drivers just slowing down in preparation for turn 3 and contacts made.
As Max Invictus in the 18 making contact with Mark Polito there. Invictus now up to the 13th position, but with a heavily damaged race car. No front wing now for the 18. That's going to make this course even more challenging, as it was a very high downforce setup in the practice session that I attempted this track in. That could mean why I was having that 5-second difference from these drivers here tonight, but I'm going to say that's more likely the skill level.
I imagine at high downforce probably would be the way to go at this facility, considering how much left right there is, and the elevation changes, banking changes, all that stuff. That I think you'd want is that front end to be planted as much as you possibly could, considering there really is only the one straightaway down to the turn number 1 off of 14. That I don't think having low downforce would really benefit as much as a high downforce setup.
And you notice that too coming down the front stretch. We're used to seeing these cars getting up to about 185 to 186 miles an hour on the front stretch of most circuits. Tonight, we're only seeing 180 as we dive down into turn 1. In the draft now, we're going to see that 186 mile an hour number, maybe on the OTS as well. And remember, 200 seconds of OTS available. After it's turned off, back to 100 seconds of cooldown time. So strategy to come into play here as we are now within 10 to go, Morgan.
Absolutely, we're getting down to it here. The battle is really for second and third right now. Lucas Hand, Lauren Tilsley. Those are the two who have the chance at it. Yuki Shirakawa is not too far behind, about 1 second back, but I mean, once again, Timothy Fries Larson is in his own zip code right now. 10.5 seconds in front of second position. Really just trying to keep it on the racetrack at this point. There is nothing to push for here. Already has the fast lap of the race down in a 14.0. Just got to keep it on the black stuff and it's been just fine.
And And it's interesting to see that section between turn 13 and 14. So many drivers getting off just the left side tires into that sand trap. Here we go. This is going to be the battle down into turn 1. Side by side for P2. Lucas Hand up against the wall. Lauren Tilsley holds him to it. Tilsley falls back behind, goes for the over-under. Nearly contact again out of turn 1. Side by side through turn 2. Tilsley gets the advantage for turn 3. See how they come out. And Tilsley has a great advantage now, looking to stretch it out to a half a second as we make our way through 4, 5, and 6.
They made that pass happen right there, and now can set their sights on Timothy Fries-Larson, although it would be a pretty monumental task, I would think, to be able to gain a second a lap for the rest of this race, to go up there and go get the leader. But I mean, second position in a split like this absolutely would be something to hang your hat on.
Especially coming in as the number 8 car. Got a great qualifying lap in, started out in P4, up 2 spots so far with contact made, keeping a healthy race car, luckily for Tilsley. See if they can hold on to this number 2 spot as we make it down through turn 14 one more time. Man, Morgan, I love that corner. You know, being a mostly an oval style broadcaster and coming over to these road courses, it almost makes me feel at home.
Yeah, I agree. You see turn 3 and you go, a banked left-hander. What do you know? We're back. We're so back. When I saw this racetrack for the first time and I saw that corner, I went, okay, I can do this. I can do this now. It's quite reminiscent of a place like a Southern National Speedway, kind of, with a tight, I think it's about the same banking as well, a little short track here on the service. It's kind of got that same feeling to it, how you run the racetrack as well. So definitely good for oval guys to get that one corner out of the 18 we have on this racetrack. That one corner feels like home. 14 on this racetrack.
I was almost thinking in my head, it's just based off the scale of turn 3, it really reminds me of Bristol with a traditional stock car ripping around, there in Tennessee. It's very unique to see that in a open wheel setup type of race. It's not often you get these high banking curves like this.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. Here, so we have a battle for third. Hand has been caught by Shirakawa. That 6 is definitely making up for having that slide earlier. Able to make a pass. I don't believe Shirakawa is using the OTS right now. Better look at it on my end. No, the OTS currently not enabled on the 6 machine. And still yet keeping pace with Lucas Hand, who has been on and off through this race. Shirakawa might be keeping that in the back pocket here for the last couple of laps. 200 seconds, nearly. That's 2.5 laps.
2.5 laps.
Yeah.
That could be a big push at the very end.
Certainly could be. Oh, issue. Oh, never mind. Connection issue. Apologies for Ludwig Ranson. Disappeared for a moment. They are back in the session.
There's a lot of race cars right around Ludwig Ranson. We've got Marcos Alarcon, Ranson, Kahan, and Rohan Sanir up ahead in the 7th position. We've got another 4-horse race right in the middle of this pack.
And how many times have we seen that this year? A group of drivers right around that 5th through 8th region that just cannot get away from each other. It's happened pretty much every week, and it's been really great to see, especially at a racetrack like this, where they all kind of separate a little bit during the lap, and then they come all together here off of turn 14 to be smushed together here into turn number 1.
I have to say, I think that's my favorite thing about these open setup races, where it allows these drivers to build this car for a specific part of the race. Here we go with some lap traffic staying out of the way of this battle, letting it continue on naturally here as we work our way back through turn 7, down into turn 8, then the hard brakes on turn 9. Back to the left-hander of turn 10. And then that chicane setup of turns 11 and 12 coming up. The right hand 90-degree corner back to the 180 left-hander. Very difficult portion of the track right there too, to keep it so close to the entry of turn 11 and then right back to the inside of turn 12. Pick up that speed for 13 and 14. Try to carry all that momentum back down to turn 1.
Yes, quite an exciting racetrack. I got a question for you, Logan, about road racing in general, especially these Formula cars. We're going to see it here in just a little bit when we get down to some of these parts of the racetrack. It's right on board here. When you have a braking zone that is right beside the edge of the racetrack, up against the grass, and we see the dirt out on the racetrack, how hard is it to be able to brake on the racetrack and not on the grass? Because we know that will be ill handling for the car. How difficult is it to spot where exactly the braking point is?
From the driver's seat, it's actually not too bad. You've got a lot more visibility than one would think, especially when you have that open wheel right in front of you. You really get a good peek to the outside just behind the tire. And it helps out getting yourself lined up for the corner entry.
Like right here, for example.
Right there, it's a lot easier than you would think. The braking, it's not too heavy of a foot on the pedal for the corner entry there. It's really more of a lift of the throttle down into turn 13, so you don't have to worry about locking it up on the dirt that's on the track.
Makes sense. Oh, Rohan Center almost out of OTS. You see it blinking red. That is less than ideal at this point in the race. 4 to go still. Drivers around him clearly do have that OTS still available. He's paying the price right now.
That is all over the back end of the race car. A look to the inside, doesn't quite get there.
He got there.
Side by side, down through turn 7. How's it going to play out here for 8 and 9? It works out pretty well.
Gahan makes that pass.
Completed easily.
I think Center realized that they were up against it, had to lift out of the throttle to avoid going in there too wide and losing more time, possibly crashing. So just kind of gave it up, knowing that they're on the back foot right now. And 9th spot out of this field for the 10 car is still, that's a great day.
I can't complain with that by any means. Luz Gahan, Marcos Alarcon. They're on the other side of that, back in the 7th and 8th spot. Ooh, side by side into one again.
Oh, spin!
Oh!
Yuri Ishikawa. How did they not go all the way around? Caught the grass. We're going to have to go back and look at this one again.
A fantastic recovery from Shirakawa.
Right about that. They caught the grass with the right rear tire. That's exactly what I was talking about. You can't brake on the grass. They'll pull that car all the way around here, and somehow they're able to keep it on the racetrack.
A little bit late on the braking, was certainly trying to defend that position, but what a save that was. The rear end of this car comes around so easily, but able to keep it under control. That is calm, cool, and collected on display. Dennis Cornu picks up a black flag. The number 12 in the 12th position now. We'll have to serve a penalty before the end of this race as we are 3 to go.
Not what you want to see, and something that I'm sure our sponsors want to see about Graham Crackers Racing on the side of Felipe Sarkis. And running in P10 right now. Appreciate them for stepping up and sponsoring this entire season. And appreciate Felipe for, I think, being part of every one of the broadcasted events we've done so far. He has been a mainstay in this series here on VSPEED.
It is a name that is mentioned nearly every week, if not every week. We love to see the consistency from the drivers showing up at these Saturday events. It's been a fun one all season long. Just one more to go next week at Monza before we crown our 13 or 12-week season champion.
And knowing how you can gain hundreds. Oh, Yuri Ishikawa is around again. Oh, that car's destroyed. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow.
Bad goes to worse for the number 6. Was up in the top 3. Contact with Lauren Tilsley puts him back out into 4th. Now, Shirakawa out of the race with just 2 laps to go.
Bit of a connection issue there. Oh, connection issue brought them off the racetrack. I haven't seen that one happen very often, but I think they had a black screen.
Hardware malfunctions. They hit a little bit different sometimes.
Yeah, they're stuck. They haven't left yet.
With Timothy Freeze Larson.
Yeah, that car is stuck on the racetrack. There is definitely some sort of connection issue there, but no issues here. For Timothy Freeze Larson, 14.5 seconds out in front of second position. Working to the middle part of this racetrack. Fast lap, how about a 13:47? No one else even broke it into the 13-second bracket.
And remember, I believe last week, race winner ended up setting the fastest lap on the last lap of the race using all of the OTS left in the tank. We'll see if Larson has one more to go here. I believe he's a little bit off pace, a little bit off track there between 13 and 14, but coming out of 14 from the Netherlands, Zandvoort, Timothy Freeze Larson takes home another win on the season, leading every single lap of the race.
Absolutely incredible drive. And he actually matched his fast lap on the last lap as well. Impressive.
Very impressive indeed to put down 2 1:13 second lap times back to back like that. That just goes to show, I think, Timothy Freeze Larson had all of the OTS available there for that last 2.5 laps. We mentioned it earlier on in the run. So that could be a possibility. He got out early, never looked back, and was able to put it all down in the last 2 laps.
Yeah, he put it on him today. I mean, goodness gracious. We've seen dominating efforts a lot this season, but I don't think we've seen a margin of victory this large all year.
That one, 14.8 seconds over second place. That is really just putting a hurt to him.
Absolutely is here. Let's have a look.
Third win on the.
Go ahead. Now let's have a look here and see your race results. Logan? Connection issue here with Logan. Timothy Freeze Larson winning this one easily, starting on the pole, leading every lap with the fast lap, winning the race once again. Simply lovely for Timothy Freeze Larson. Lauren Tilsley comes home in the second position. Lucas Hand will round out your podium here tonight. Nadia Mel finishes in the 4th spot. Marcos Alerson in the 5th position in the 3 machine. Worked his way up from 13th starting spot. Definitely a miraculous drive to the field for Marcos. Luis Gahan going to finish in 6th spot. Valerio Fuentes Tavares finishes in 7th position. Rohan Center in 8th. Ludwig Ranson in 9th. And Philippe Sarkis in the 10th spot.
Back
Logan,
in 11th. Was up in the top 3 at one point, but Yuki Shirakawa falls back to 11th after a unfortunate event. Black screen most likely ends up completely destroying the number 6. Dennis Cornu in the 12 finishes out in 12th, 2 laps down. Max Invictus, the same boat, 2 laps down, finishes out in 13th. Mark Polito, another driver not having the day that he wanted to have, the 13 finishes out in 14th. Victor Odd in the 16 takes home a 15th finish on the night. Simon Scholes in the 15 goes home in 16th. Jacob Ovroslack, I believe I'm saying that right. I surely hope so. The 21 finishes out in 17th. Behind that, Matt White in the 17 finishes out in 18th. Miguel Fachado in the 19 finishes out 19th. In the top 20, Darren Muchavunga finishes out in 20th.
Final car on the
One
grid tonight.
last driver to go.
Andrew Petty, driver up there in the point standings. This is not going to help him by any stretch. And that is a look at your results here from week number 11, the iRacing official broadcast here on VSPEED for the Super Formula B Series. But Logan, it's time to chat with some of these drivers. What do you say?
I say we absolutely do that. Let's start out with our race winner, Timothy Freeze Larson. See how that was up here in the lead for 27 laps. Timothy Freeze Larson, you've got Morgan and Logan up here in the VSPEED booth. You have a copy, driver.
Yeah, I can hear you guys loud and clear.
Well, another fantastic race for you. Started on the pole. You came into this race with the fastest lap of the day at a 1 minute 13 second 0.7 second lap in your previous race win, blowing that one out of the water with a 1:13.472. Tell me about your drive. You didn't have much competition after that green flag dropped.
Yeah, it was just important to get a good start, which I did, and of course cover the inside to not allow for anything weird to happen. And yeah, from then it was just hot lapping really, and yeah, I only made one slight mistake on the final lap in the second to last corner, which lost me a tenth and a half. So like yeah, the fastest lap could have been 1:13.3, and that would also be the fastest so far this season or this week. So a bit upset about that, but I can't complain when I won by 15 seconds almost.
Yeah, not by any means a 14.8 second gap to second place. That is a dominating victory. That's the only way to put it. Timothy Freeze Larson, again, 3 wins on the day. Seems to me that you're making a hard last second push to maybe come away with the points championship at the end of this 12 weeks.
Yeah, but I think I'm mostly just enjoying racing my favorite car and going fast. Yeah, I don't really know much more to say. So
Well, you've been successfully fast pretty well all season long. You've been in the conversation for race wins multiple times this season. Well, that leaves us with just one last question. You're no stranger to it. Who do you have to say thanks to? Anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to?
yeah, of course a shout out to my dad for always supporting me, and yeah, thank you to anyone else in my family for if they're watching. Thanks to Dylan as always for tuning in every single time I race. And thanks to another good friend of mine, Frida, from Germany. I know you're not too into racing, but I hope this was a good watch. And then thank you to you guys, Morgan and Logan, and the VSpeed team, as well as the Sim Race Nation community for making all this possible. It's really so much fun.
And it is just as fun to watch it as it is to be a part of it, I am sure. Congratulations once more, Timothy Freeze Larson. We'll see you one more time next week when we take it to Monza.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
That'll do it for our race winner. Morgan, I think you've caught up with our third place finisher, Lucas Hand.
You bet. Lucas, Morgan, and Logan up in the booth. You got a copy.
Hello, guys.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It was a fun race, yeah.
Absolutely. Started in the third position, finished in the third position, but that was not the entire story. Drivers going off the track, attrition throughout the race here. How difficult was it at a very fast racetrack to keep it on the black stuff and not make those mistakes that others were drawn into?
Oh yeah, it is very difficult around here. I mean, I'm sweating like a lot right now. So, yeah, it was very difficult. This track, it's narrow. You have all the grass and gravel on the outside. So one little mistake and you're out wide, and the wind, especially like 30 km/h wind, like very difficult to keep it on the track. So yeah, it's just about keeping under that 100%. Maybe pushing at 99.7 and just making sure that you don't make any mistakes, because if you don't make any mistakes, you're going to be finishing quite high.
Absolutely. And we've seen you a few times this season, I believe. I think you grabbed a win back in Fuji, if I'm not mistaken. But we haven't really seen you a lot since then. Is this maybe going to be the start of you being in this series and on these broadcasts more often here on the Saturday afternoon shows when we go into next season?
I think it was Carter that won Fuji, but no, I mean, um, I drive this car all the time. I have some real racing conflicts that prevent me from doing the broadcast races sometimes on the weekend. But yeah, no, whenever I'm available, whenever I'm here on the day, I always turn up, because it's quite fun being able to see you guys commentating on me and stuff. So yeah, it's awesome.
Love to hear that, and definitely good luck in the real world racing. And it's really great to see real world drivers driving on iRacing and vice versa. Really, you can see that there's such high quality drivers in these series. I mean, we had a strength of field up north of 5,000, which is just unbelievable here. But while we got you up here, Lucas, who do you want to thank, shout out, or anything you want to say here to the fine folks at VSPEED?
As always, I'd like to thank you guys. You guys are real awesome putting the show on for us, and my family watching the broadcast. Thank you for supporting me, and all my friends as well, and all the racers that came out today. I mean, it was great racing with Lauren and Naughty at the end there. So yeah, it was great fun.
Awesome. Well, that's third place, Lucas Hand. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, see you guys.
Well, that's just about going to do it here, Logan. What a fun one in Zandvoort.
Yeah, indeed. Love coming to this track. It's just such a unique circuit. It just provides such an exhilarating race. We saw multiple moments tonight where we had battles with the top three to start the race. We had battles from second back to fifth, and then all the way back in the 10th spot. We had 4, 5 car battles for multiple laps. Some of them ending up a little bit better than others. We had multiple drivers that got collected on lap 1, ending the night early, taking our 21 car field down to about 17 right off the rip. But still, what a fantastic race we saw here at Zandvoort.
And just the raw pace of Timothy Fries Larson, unbelievable. Only 10 drivers on the lead lap. I mean, we don't see that very often here in these Formula B events here on iRacing. And definitely appreciate the opportunity to bring these to you. Once again, the fine people of YouTube, and thank iRacing for allowing us to do this here. Again, this was the Super Formula B Series here on iRacing, and another big shout out to simracingnation.com for being a partner with us and allowing us the opportunity to do this. And thank you to Graham Crackers Racing for hopping on board, as well as on board some of the cars out here tonight too. But no matter if you're searching for speed or a place to race, you found it. Stop by Graham Crackers Racing Discord server where everyone's welcome. Looking for a team? You're in luck. We're actively recruiting for both Super Formula 23 and NASCAR teams. Join by using the link in the description or the QR code on your screen. Leave that one up for just another second longer here. But I mean, it's great that we're drawing interest from people outside of just iRacing and outside of just the drivers. This will definitely help us fund more of these races in the future. And if you're interested in helping us out and funding another one of these races, check out the description. Description link, there's a donation down there, so definitely want to go have a look at that so we can continue to bring these phenomenal drivers more airtime here on VSPEED here on YouTube. Definitely want to do that for all of them. But for everyone who makes these things possible, everyone at VSPEED, Bradley, Adam, Eddie, all the other commentators and producers, and of course, Santa sitting beside me, Logan Santa Threlkeld, our lead commentator tonight. I've been Morgan Cook. Now's your last opportunity to like the video, subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss a moment of the racing action. We'll see you later tonight here on VSPEED, and right here next week for Super Formula cars at Monza. So definitely want to stay tuned for that one. We'll catch you next time here on VSPEED.